Oh my goodness, we're only days away from the Mario Kart World Direct, which is super exciting for me, and not just me, but a lot of people, including, I believe, Mario Kart expert Swiftjar, who was our guest today. How are you doing, Swiftjar?
I'm always going extremely well when we're going to be talking about Mario Kart, right? So I'm excited. It's 10:45 p.m. here, and I can still talk about Mario Kart. That's how you know I'm excited. So
Yeah, I wanted to get into more of that and discuss our specific predictions for the Mario Kart World Direct. Because I'm of two minds on this, right? I think we're both extremely excited for the game as is. And the fact that they're having a Mario Kart World Direct shortly after its blowout on April 2nd, and they've already showed a lot of this game, Swiftjar. It makes me wonder, or think, they probably have some big things hiding there, right?
I would assume so. I mean, they blew my expectations completely out of the water when they first announced this game, and my expectations are already extremely high. And the fact they just went bang, 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 I'm just like, what else are they hiding? They've got to be showing something if they're putting such a direct thing on this. But yeah, I'm excited.
That's exactly it. That's why I'm both really optimistic for this, but also, like, I feel like it's either going to blow me away or I'm going to be extremely disappointed. Because it could go the route of, here's just more of all the things you already know. And I want to be clear, even if I'm disappointed here, I'm already sold on the core game, right? It already looks amazing, so that's fine. But obviously, when you tease a direct immediately after blowing it out in your current direct, yeah, we're going to be expecting more. And I think there are a lot of unknowns, especially in this game still, including more about the open world, a lot, options, we don't know much about that. The online, we have no idea how that's going to work, and that's obviously going to be a big feature, I would hope, right? So, yeah, so
expect so.
Yeah, they better be. All right, so let's go ahead and get to our predictions then. Swiftjar, what's your first one? What are you thinking we're going to see here in a few days?
We're kicking off with something a little bit different. I'm not going to go probably what people are expecting here, but I'm hoping for Nintendo Radio. Let me be specific on that as well.
That's a good
when
one.
you're driving around the open world, imagine you just have the DK rap pop into your sound, and it just starts pumping. You just with your friends, all just chilling, driving around, Forza Horizon style, and you're just vibing. I just feel like that right there and then is a little weird prediction. Is it going to come true? I'm not sure, but that's my little one.
That's actually genius. Like, I could absolutely... I mean, like, a GTA-style radio, right? You can switch a station, possibly. I don't think they'd have, like, fun little radio infomercials or whatever, though that'd be amazing. But I love the idea of there being music. I mean, if they want to be really clever here, they could do something, and you could possibly... Maybe they teased it in the previous Direct, where maybe it's tied to Nintendo Music, where you can feed in, like, Mario Kart music from the series through Nintendo Music, and that's your radio station, so...
It'd be perfect. And the reason why I also thought about that in particular too is just from a few of the previews and whatnot. I think Toon Tris had one in particular where you can actually hear some Wario, I think it was WarioWare or Wario Land music in the background if you listen really carefully.
Yeah.
So who knows? It's up there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, we have at the least heard teases of other songs, of songs in the game that don't seem to be represented yet, which makes me wonder, what other tracks do they have to show off here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Swiftjar, talking so much about Mario Kart is making me want to revisit past entries in the series. I think I may have a pretty good way of going about it. Do you want to hear more about this?
I'd love to know more about this.
Thank God, because I got the app for you, Swiftjar, being an app called Encore. This is Encore, an app that's one of the best places to shop and learn about consoles and video games, as it's basically TikTok but for video game auctions. And not only is it free to download, but you might even win free goodies too. Because one of my favorite features is the ability to enter a ton of giveaways posted by sellers that are completely free to enter. Heck, if you win, Encore even covers the shipping, so you're not paying anything at all. And even better, once you've entered the giveaway, you can then share that link with your friends to earn 5 extra entries for yourself, and improve your chances of winning. And most importantly, Encore takes your trust and security seriously, by not only making sure every seller is who they say they are with ID verification, but also through the Encore guarantee, which protects you in the event an item that you receive doesn't match the description. So if you want to check out Encore right now, just click my link in the description below to download Encore on the iOS or Android app stores and start winning deals on video games and consoles right now. Hey, is that Mario Kart Wii? I've been looking for that one. Alright, well I'll get back to that later. For now, let's get back to our Mario Kart World discussion. I guess I will continue with the open world theme because I think that there is going to be a lot more to this open world. Like I think it was one of the representatives during the Treehouse Live segments, which again, by the way, the fact that they've already shown like, over an hour of this game officially and there's still more to come is why I'm excited. And one of the things they teased is that there is more to come specifically like in the open world. Like that was the implication. There's a lot more there that they haven't shown yet, and that was my guess from the get-go. I'm like, there's a lot more they could probably do here. So at the least, I have a few predictions here, but at the least, I'm expecting them to be there to be like missions. So there's gonna be like NPCs you can like interact with, whether they're in carts or just walking around or whatever. We've already seen NPCs walking around, but there's gonna be ones you can interact with, and you're gonna be able to start like things like maybe drag races or more like shorter races in this case, or like a longer like point-to-point challenge. Like, hey, I'll race you to New Donk City or whatever it is, like the DK track or the spaceport. And you're gonna have to figure out the fastest way to get there. With the open world, like there's gonna be a ton of routes, of course. Like they may leave that freedom up to you in however way you decide to get there. And that's just there's plenty more they could do. They could have like different kinds of unique challenges. Maybe you have to deliver a parcel somewhere within a time limit, or maybe you have to collect coins for someone else. Like, hey, I'm broke, I need money, and can you go get me 30 coins in the next 3 minutes? Go figure it out.
Times are tough out there. Times are tough in the Mushroom Kingdom.
I don't know if you saw in one of the clips, there's a Shy Guy sleeping on a bench. I'm like, that poor Shy Guy. He deserves better.
Exactly right. No, I love that idea. And I think the idea of a big open world with a bunch of missions you can do is really, really cool. And I think we obviously saw that with Mario Kart DS, where you could do all the different missions with the bosses. So they really did it back then, which I actually think was way ahead of its time personally. But also in Mario Kart Tour, at the end of every sort of the cup you would do each time, you'd have a little challenge at the end, whether it's 100 people in a race, you got to finish at first, starting from last. I think you're onto something there. I think that would work really, really well. I think it would work brilliantly, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I feel like this is the chance for them to finally incorporate like a single player component that they've been missing for so long. As you mentioned, the mission mode from DS and to an extent the Wii version as well is the closest thing we've had to a proper single player here. And I think this may be the time to finally like better realize that. And I think having these like missions incorporated into the open world itself could be a lot of fun. A little bit, Burnout Paradise style, if you ever played that. Yeah.
Yeah,
even
back
more,
in the day.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you have any other predictions related to the open world or thoughts on what we could expect there?
There's one that I kind of would associate with open world, and it's kind of associated. It might be a segue into a different topic here,
sure,
but
go for it.
I think obviously we've seen a few different modes so far. We've seen the Grand Prix, we've seen the knockout one, we've seen the open world. But I reckon there might be something as well when you are choosing Grand Prix. We already know there's different options to potentially turn intermissions off and on, but I have a feeling as well you might be able to maybe choose your own circuit, kind of like a Mario Kart Maker. So just say, for example, you start at the very top, you go to the bottom left, you go to the top, to Toad's Factory, and then back down to the bottom right. Almost choose your own path kind of thing. And that makes some pretty cool titles. I just won the biggest race in Mario Kart World's history, like trying to figure out the longest route you could take. But that's one of mine.
I think you're 100% on the money there, because they've shown off that map, I think on the official website, that shows like how all the tracks can like interlink to each other. And what's the point of showing it off if they're not giving us the option to combine them in different ways? Because they have, however many cups they have currently, it's not going to be enough to cover every possible permeation of that, right? And that's why I'm fully there with you. I think we'll be able to create our own custom tracks. And I'll go a step farther there. I think we'll be able to create longer ones than we've seen in the game. The knockout races are 6, I believe, right now? Is that right?
Yep,
yeah,
that's right.
I think we'll be able to go broader. I think we'll be able to go 10, maybe even 20. And you could like have it race across the entire world.
That would be incredible. Just having the whole entire open world segment combined with the whole Grand Prix and then knockout and all just kind of working together. Yeah. I think that's special. I mean, I love Double Dash. I even bought this today, the Japanese version, at a convention today. And just having the interconnected world there, but then taking it and just expanding on it, exciting. I love it. I'm a fan.
I made, I think one of our most popular Cool Bets episodes is specifically about that, how Double Dash was basically hinting at this feature 20 years early, so, which is amazing. Although I still wish there were a Double Dash feature here. I'm not predicting it. I just wish it were here. But I'm happy with what we have. Anyways, so speaking open world, I will take it even a step farther than this, though, Swiftjar. I think there is the possibility, I will not bet on this, but I think there's a possibility that this isn't just like, a free roaming open world where you do occasional missions. I think there could be an actual story mode here. Like, you have this giant world, it'd almost be a shame not to do something story related with it, and I think it could be something, like, Bowser, doing whatever it is, Bowser doing something, right? And you have to go, like, race him or his minions across the world. And I think that's maybe why we've not seen the Koopalings yet. I think this will be how you unlock the Koopalings. Right. I believe that they will have, like, their own little regions. You have to, like, defeat them in a race or battle or whatever it is. Like, it'll be, different kinds of, like, missions, if you will, in which you have to, work your way to them and defeat them. And then you'll unlock the Koopalings in that sense before you can work your way up to Bowser as well. And yeah, I'm hoping for, I'm kind of feeling it. I feel like this may be the time to have, like, not like something super in depth, but something a la Diddy Kong Racing, back in the day that they have sadly not done it all since.
Loved Diddy Kong Racing as a kid. I probably argue liked it more than Mario Kart 64 if I'm gonna shoot myself right now.
Single player wise blows out the water. Yep.
Yeah, it was really good, and also like the flying and the water driving too was pretty ahead of its time. It's great to see Mario Kart obviously win there in the end, but yeah, I love that prediction. And just to take that one step further as well with that prediction, imagine sort of fighting a boss like Goon Boss like Mario Kart DS, for example, and then out of nowhere Goon Boss is now playable, or King Bob-omb or something like that. I think it'd be a cool way just to unlock characters instead of it just being race. That'd be a good way to get some as a casual, but then really grinding that story for those special characters. That'd be cool.
Exactly, especially because we've already seen, I lost count of the exact count, maybe but like it's pretty clear at this point this is gonna be the biggest roster in Mario Kart history, and they've already teased or shown off so many freaking characters. I still think there's more. There's still more. I mentioned the Koopalings, obviously, a weird, surprising omission, considering they've been in, a ton of things recently. I mean, well, in the last decade or so, and by that mostly Mario Kart, but still, it feels like they've been in a lot of things. In any case, I think there'll be even more here, as you mentioned. Like, there could be bosses. We could have like, have they shown King Bob-omb yet? I don't think they have, right? Or yeah, he was in Tor though, as I recall, right?
He was.
So that's another kind of notable omission. The Goomba King, as you mentioned, tons of others.
Poochie.
Exactly.
So many characters.
Yeah. It's endless, and I think that will be the case. Now, whether or not they don't come in the form of like unlockables in the story mode or campaign or whatever you want to call the single player component, there will absolutely be DLC for this game. That's my prediction. Absolutely will be DLC. Hopefully free for Booster Course Pass owners, much like the deluxe courses or the for the NSO owners, like how Booster Pass Course War. That's so many words I can't even remember anymore. And and I don't quite know how that'll work. But I think it come in the form of like, maybe different land masses or islands that show up like next to your continent that have new tracks as well. So you get new tracks, new characters, maybe even things like, Daisy Cruiser could be a track and you would like move around.
Yeah,
like you can interlink with other tracks in a different way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I know. I 100% think, look, it's a day one Switch 2 launch. This game's going to get support, right? It just has to. But I am going to go with my next prediction. And it's going to lead on top of that one.
Okay, good.
And it's going to be, I don't want to call it DLC. I'm going to call it Mario Kart as a service. So we know what Mario Kart 2 was like without the microtransactions here. Was a phenomenal game. Lasted 3+ years, continued the hype while Mario Kart sort of just kind of slept a little bit before the Booster Course Pass. And I think they're going to do that here again, right? But I don't think it's going to be any kind of gacha thing. I think it's going to be, maybe once every 3 or 4 weeks, you might get a new character and maybe a new track or something just pops up into the world, potentially. And I think that's the perfect way to actually introduce some more characters. You go, where are all the Kongs? Where's Diddy Kong? Where's Funky Kong? Where's Dixie Kong? Maybe, Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out in that time. And just beforehand, just a little bit of cross-promotion as a marketing person myself, maybe you go, Here's something for Mario Kart, and you get people in, that track looks cool, maybe I want to try that game out because that's for a Mario Kart. But that's my kind of thinking, and I think as well, you're not releasing obviously the counter argument to that is you're releasing an unfinished game, but I don't think so. When you got a game that looks as packed as Mario Kart World does at the moment, I think you're just adding value to it. And maybe that's where the extra $10 comes from in Australia for the price.
Yeah, it might be. No, 1000%. Like, I don't think anyone can accuse this game of being unfinished. Now, there's still the argument of whether it justifies its $80 standalone price point, but that's not something I care to talk about now.
No, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, but no, I'm right there with you. I mean, it only makes sense to continue to support this game for years. Like, we saw they kind of dipped their toes in the idea with Mario Kart 8, adding content years after its release or in Deluxe. And I mean, kind of actually multiple times, both with Deluxe and then again with the Booster Course Pass DLC. And I think this is going to, I mean, obviously they're expecting this game to be probably their biggest game on the system. That's why it's at launch. It was the biggest game they'd ever sold standalone with 8 Deluxe, and it only makes sense to continue to support this for years to come. And yeah, the synergy could be amazing here, and I would love it. That's why we haven't seen those other crossover characters yet, even beyond the Kongs. But like we had Link and Animal Crossing, they could bring those back too in a limited fashion through DLC when those characters get their own games.
I just, the possibilities are truly endless there. Like, legitimately, just keep bringing content. I'm happy.
Yeah, bring on the Diddy Kong Racing expansion. That's what I need. But yeah, it's a weird admission, right? Where's Diddy Kong? Like, they have to be figuring something out along these lines, right? Like, I think you're on.
They know they're popular.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to another prediction I have, which is that, well, we're gonna find out about battle mode. They have not talked about battle mode at all. I believe we've seen at least a couple of maps on the world map that appear to be battle mode themed. They would have to be. They couldn't be anything else really. So it seems like at the base level we have like a classic style battle mode still. But I think they're gonna go. Well, first off, it's gonna have to be way bigger than normal because with 24 racers, assuming they're keeping that same count for battle mode, which they've always had parity, I believe. It would make sense. So these could be bigger arenas than ever. But furthermore, I think they're going to go beyond battle mode. Like, I think we're going to be seeing, more unique types of missions. I mean, guess we had some of those in 8 Deluxe, with the like the cops and robbers mode and the like the coin thief one or whatever. But I think we're going to see something even broader here, where there could be like more, rather than just being stuck in a single arena, there could be like a battle mode element to a broader context, but without the actual racing to a finish line, for instance. I'm having trouble picturing exactly what that could be, but I think Nintendo has some good ideas probably figured out for what form these new battle mode type races could take.
Yeah, I think when I think of like that kind of logic behind it as well, but the first game that I fall back to was actually Fall Guys. I think it kind of challenges how, at one point you're trying to race at the end, and the next one you're trying to play tag, or you're trying to just survive. I think trying to apply that kind of logic to a mode like battle mode, for example, while still having battle mode there as part of it, I think would be epic. I think that'd be really, really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually love that idea. Fall Guys is a great example of of an idea or a theme they could follow for Mario Kart, where, I mean, especially if they take the knockout idea and apply it to battle mode too. That could be really interesting, where maybe have multiple rounds, it whittles the amount of people down by each round, or maybe within the same round even, like maybe I guess kind of classic battle mode, like way back in the day, where if you lost all your balloons, well, you're out for good, that was it until the next round. So yeah, I would love if they did something like that. Like, can you imagine, I don't know, just trying to think like, a big donut type stage, and you're trying to just avoid like, obstacles that keep getting added to it, like maybe fire bars, or maybe like walking the bombs or something. That just gets progressively more dangerous, and if you touch one, you're out for that round. Man, that could be amazing, actually.
That'd be very epic. That'd be very cool. And I think there's also been the spotting. Was a big donut that's been spotted on the actual world map so far as well. Yeah. Before Bowser's Castle. So I think they're going to be there somewhere, hopefully. So,
I think so. And it would be a perfect, like, those types of arenas too would fit in so well with like a mission-based or story-based single-player mode.
Big time. Yeah. Very, very big time. So I guess for my next prediction, I'm going to play this one safe. Okay. I'm going to say there's going to be a lot more main Mario universe characters. Obviously, I love the goofy side characters and the NPCs we're getting at the moment. Like, Pianta was my number one wish, I got him. So, like, I'm stoked. You can end the call now and I'll be happy. But I think we're going to see a lot more characters that had a bit more success on the Switch 1. So people like Professor Egad, King Bob-omb, for example, those characters that kind of had that repeat just getting seen over and over again. I think we're going to see that. And then on the other side as well, I think we're going to see a lot more NPC enemies that we haven't seen yet. Obviously, we've seen Kamek Waves wander around and then spawn a few enemies in. There's a few that we have seen from footage from all the gameplay so far, being Boom Boom and Chain Chomp. So I'm saying we're getting Chain Chomp as a damn driver.
That's awesome. I love that idea. I've always loved the Chain Chomp item in Double Dash, especially. But, you know, if he ends up being a character, I'm okay with this. That could be amazing. We did see him in Mario Tennis Aces, I believe, and that was a fun inclusion. And I'm here all for these, like, wacky, you know, characters, especially, you know, whether it be more mainstays, as you mentioned, like EGAD, or more like just minion-based enemies. But I'm really liking just how varied this cast is so far. It's such a breath of fresh air compared to the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe roster, which is filled with a bunch of losers like the babies and, you know, Metal Mario and Pink Gold Peach, you know. No offense if you liked any of them. But
I'm partial.
No, I think it's fun just to have like this really eclectic cast, and it kind of fits the kind of oddball vibe the whole game has, like with the open world setting and everything. Really digging it. So they almost all, to me, kind of feel like the Piranha Plant Smash, but now just, you know, even more of them. So
I think the cow takes that title for me. When I saw that during the direct, I'm like, they're putting such an emphasis on this cow, and I'm like, I'm all for it. Just big tick.
It's I've already seen some some hilarious memes involving that cow. And how just exposed that cow really is. It's something. They really went there. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of Moo Moo Meadows as well, so seeing the cow there is amazing. Do you have any expectations, not to skip ahead of any other predictions you have, maybe you do have this, but what are your kind of expectations for what they're going to show track-wise? Because, you know, obviously we've already seen, you know, a fair amount of them, and on the world map, you know, we've seemingly, like, we know what a good chunk of those are. Just based on, you know, the icons. Are there classic maps, or they're, you know, newer ones that we may not fully seen yet? But do you think there's more? Like, you know, the Nintendo accidentally leaked the icon for Rainbow Road, at least. So what are you thinking we're going to see here in terms of additional tracks?
My heart tells me we're going to just see the 30 that have been shown off.
Yeah.
And I think with maybe the expectation of potentially seeing more, maybe one or two, maybe being shown off, maybe... I mean, who knows, right? Maybe the world can change after every few weeks and tracks start moving around like Fortnite style. Who knows? But my expectations are we're just going to see more of what we haven't seen from actual trailer footage. Like, you know, Rainbow Road, for example, a bit more of actual footage of Bowser's Castle rather than taken on a mobile phone, which I really appreciate still, by the way, for all the people doing it. Yep. Absolute chef's kiss. Yeah. But I think we're just going to see the 30, but I would love to see more, and please prove me wrong.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, I'm already pretty content with the 30 we have. I mean, that's how many most Mario Karts generally have before, you know, DLC or whatever. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe really kind of like changed the expectations, I think. And but with the way these tracks are going to be able to interlink, I think that's going to more than make up for, you know, a lack of tracks compared to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But yeah, here's hoping there's even more. Like, my hope is that, like, I'm actually a little disappointed by the singular Rainbow Road icon we've seen, because I was hoping that there would be grander ambitions for it, and I think there still could be. Like, maybe I'm hoping that it's almost more like a Rainbow Road, like, region, right? Where, you know, it's not just a Rainbow Road, it's a bunch of Rainbow Roads all interlinked, maybe with even other, like, celestial-based tracks there. Like, you know, we did hear Mario Galaxy music at one point, during the direct, or during the April 2nd direct. So I still can't help, like, is there an actual proper Mario Galaxy track, like where you're on a planet in space or something, you know? So I might be getting too far out there, but so to speak.
How do you get to Rainbow Road? That's the question as well, for all the intermissions, right? So there have been lumens spotted. Yeah,
and the weird thing is, too, like, they have the whole spaceport there, but that seemingly doesn't tie into how you access Rainbow Road, at least as far as we know. But yeah, it's not clear at all on the map. How do you actually get to Rainbow Road? Is it just a road that extends from the ground? Is it, like, does a barrel cannon blast you up to it? Is it like a warp? Is there a launch star? We have no idea. So I don't know if they're going to touch on it yet, but the fact that it was already accidentally shown off makes me think maybe they'll show us, so...
Yeah, if it's going out the PR already, maybe. Actually, sorry, it was Nintendo that actually released it, my bad. But yeah, I would assume they're probably going to show something Rainbow Road. They know it's a big hitter.
Yeah, they do. So, and this would be kind of the time they want to use it to advertise. And they're actually, it's funny seeing how much of this game they're showing off compared to Mario Kart 8 back in the day, where they were extremely cautious with how much they showed. But here, there's like, it seems like they're blowing it out, which is really shocking to see. But that's why, again, I have big expectations. So let me go ahead and move on to another area I think that they'll explore, because they have to explore it, I would think, being the online mode. How in the heck is the online mode going to work? After, like, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's online is okay, but it's 10 years old at this point. It's based on a 10-year-old infrastructure. We need massive changes for it. And at the least, one of my hopes is that, they mentioned how you can, free roam with friends or whatever already. But my hope is that they take that basic idea but go way grander for online. Like, I would love if you're just able to race around this world in an online mode and you see other racers with you. Right? Like, I don't know if it's gonna throw you onto like different servers or how exactly it would work. Maybe it'd be region based, but I would just love that you're able to race around. You can see other racers. You can like run up to them, honk your horn or whatever. Be like, hey, you want to race an actual race or something? And they'll start like a little countdown. Anyone else who wants to join in can like join you at that location, and bam, there you go. So almost a little bit like Splatoon 3's lobby, where you can see like the ghost characters. You can like meet up for like, especially in the card game, you can meet up for different card games. I think they could really blow out that concept though. I guess Mario Wonder they've been exploring this concept a little bit. Mario Wonder had that like that 12-player thing where you could group together for 4-4. So if they went that route, you could have maybe 100 players like just roaming around the world, and then like so you could have up to 24 joining for a race. I don't know. Am I too far off here? Swiftar?
I don't think so. I don't think so. And this could be potentially because I play a little bit of Elder Scrolls Online with some friends occasionally. And one of the things that I love about that game in particular is just seeing everyone just being interconnected.
Yeah.
So if you want to someone, trade an item with them or just do things like that. Obviously, that was 10 years old now, that game too. So I think they can do this for Mario Kart Switch too. So I think you're on the ball there for something, and I guess that kind of goes into my next prediction, is that the servers are going to be a lot better in terms of actually inviting people to a game and actually race online. I think you're going to be able to maybe actually host a group, and then you can then go race together and then go into a lobby, and you guys are all together that way. So I think the friend system is going to be a lot more seamless this time. It
better be. It really needs to be. And kind of bouncing off our previous 2 points, I think the online needs to be better in general. Like one of my least favorite things about Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is that oftentimes you'll see an opponent get hit, and then they'll instantly get a speed boost because on their screen they actually weren't hit. It was only on your screen they got hit by an item, and vice versa too. Like it'll look like an item missed, but then they actually did get hit, and they need to like. I understand there's like, real world physics issues with how online gaming works, but there has to be a better way of presenting this information than like showing a character getting fake hit. So my hope is that for one, online just generally works better, but specifically I hope that they have actual servers, which if they go with my idea, there being, you see a bunch of people racing online in the open world, it would have to be server based. But regardless, with 24 racers in a race, come on, we can't rely on peer-to-peer forever. And I've done some like very light research, so it could be off base. But from what I understand, like 12 people is kind of like the upper limit that we can do for peer-to-peer without like being severely compromised. I hope Nintendo's realizing that with how much money this game is guaranteed to make them, they can afford the servers before. They can definitely afford the servers. So please have it be server-based so we can have better online connections in general.
Please, I think that needs to be, it's almost a necessity rather than a predict. It's hard, right? I just really need some good online for myself personally.
I mean, and we have seen, like, they have flirted with server seemingly with, like, F-Zero 99, which runs amazing. Probably the best online connection I've experienced in a Nintendo game, because it's the only Nintendo game really to use actual servers. So, come on, let's go with Mario Kart.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. I guess the next one's probably actually pretty much my last prediction, because I wasn't I love Double Dash. I think you love Double Dash too. It's my personal favorite from the series.
Yep, still might be.
I wasn't game enough to say Double Dash mode, so I've actually gone with a prediction that goes, the driving feels like Double Dash. By that, you actually feel the suspension and you feel the different terrain shifts, for example. So I don't know if that's been confirmed yet from the people that have played the game so far. I haven't actually looked in that much detail, but I'm really just hoping and predicting that you actually feel those bumps in the road. They put so much emphasis to make it look so good. Let's make it drive like that, because my favorite thing from Double Dash is going down the volcano or DK mountain, and you lose control of that car. That's so much fun.
It's funny you mentioned that course, because for one, that was one of the courses they showed off at E3 2003 that I went to, and that was one of the 3 courses they had, and that course instantly sold me on the game. Like, this course is amazing. And did you see the recent interview not recent interview, but the interview that recently got translated from back then?
No.
Oh yeah, it just happened a few days ago, and or I guess a couple of weeks, but they started getting more traction recently, so to speak, traction. And they were talking about how one of the big things that they improved with Mario Kart Double Dash was that they gave it a proper physics engine where the game's tracking what each wheel is doing, right? So you get way more accurate handling than they did in previous games. And I don't know if that's the sole reason why I feel so much better, but I hope that they are, to your point, that they go back to the kind of like more wackier, out of control feeling that Double Dash had. And one of my friends who has gone hands-on with the game was saying that he didn't compare it to Double Dash, but he did say it did feel different. And thank God, I just needed to feel different. I'm so used to 8 Deluxe now, like I can almost play a game blindfolded at this point, right? I just need something to feel. I just need a new way of playing this game for me to learn. It's something to adjust to, you know.
Yeah, my friends don't like playing with it anymore because they're a bit more casual with Mario Kart, and they're just like, you know the tracks too well now. Like, it's just not fair. It's not fun. So, yeah, give me a new game.
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah, I'm right there with you. Hope it feels different. I've got a couple more predictions here. Not too many more. I think, though, that I think that they haven't shown off all the items. Maybe I'm off base here. I think that they're holding on to a couple extra items. We've already, and here I'll give one specific prediction. We've already seen the return of one Mario Kart Wii item, being the Mega Mushroom, right? I'm expecting the Lightning Cloud to come back as well. And I think there may almost be like a second tier of items. Maybe you can toggle them on or off. But these might be like the trickier, more skill-based ones, you know? Because the Lightning one was actually pretty tricky. Like, it was both beneficial, but also harm you if you didn't ditch it in time. I love that idea, like these risk versus reward mechanics. I think there could be an additional tier of items that offer more options like that, where it's not just like, you know, I fire the item and you get hit. It's more like, oh, I can use this in this way, but I gotta be careful, you know?
Yeah, I would love that, especially with all the items that were in Mario Kart Tour as well, because I've played a lot of that game too, right? And they've got so many items, like, for example, the medicine that Dr. Mario throws out. We've seen the hammer item coming already from it too, and then some returning items from Double Dash as well. I think would make a really killer just inclusion into the game, because I had some really good stuff with the character-specific items too, so... Oh! Yeah, here's the hoping.
To that point, actually, the giant Koopa shell or giant Bowser shell, right? Especially, you know, I think it did come back in Tour, but one of the things they could do in Mario Kart Double Dash is that it could go over low barriers. So Baby Park was hilarious at that thing. There was this cross over the central median. Whereas now that in Mario Kart World we've seen like how the terrain is actually destructible to some degree. Like, I could see the Bowser shell just like plowing through everything, right? And this could be amazing. So I would love that return.
Yeah, that would be really, really cool.
Yeah. I have a question for you, Swiftjar. What do you make of the costumes? And do you think we're going to see more of them here? Because for me, I don't know, the costumes are the weirdest part of this game for me. But I'll get into that in a second if I need to. But what are you expecting? Do you think they'll talk more about them? They've shown that basically all they've shown us, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that you can collect food from like the Yoshi cafes or, you know, whatever, and then it changes your appearance. You get a boost, I think like a mushroom, and that's it. Like, you wear a different costume, and that's basically it. So, and it looks like there may be 10 costumes per character, maybe? I don't know. What do you are we going to find out more about these things?
I think we're going to find out more, and I guess if I were to throw in a prediction for that one, I have a feeling it might be a little bit more like every costume gives you certain different statistics, so maybe every costume might make you weigh a little bit heavier, or maybe a little bit less, so then you start getting more variety with the different kind of combinations you can do, because obviously there's no gliders and no wheels as well now, so potentially that might lead into that, but I think we're going to learn more about it, because I think Mario Kart Tour had so many damn costumes, and there were some really cool ones, and they brought a fair few of those cool ones over already, but I'm really liking the costumes so far. Probably my favorite one has to be probably the Genie Wario, or just the Boo, and any of the Boo Pyro and just the Haunted one as well are really, really cool.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I saw Genie Wario. I'm like, that is amazing. You know, like, it looked like, it was almost like he was straight out of Aladdin or something. I'm like, I love that. But yeah, the thing that trips me up with these is that it just feels so weird. Like, is this how we unlock costumes then? And we're doing it like mid-race? Am I expected to go out of my way to unlock a costume mid-race, but then that changes how I look, which for me feels like it could be confusing for other racers, you know, like if I'm playing online, right, and then like Wario turns into, you know, Genie Warrior or whatever, it's like, is that, like, will I recognize that as the same Wario, or will I be confused thinking it's a different racer? So that's why this whole thing's throwing me off a little bit. Not a big deal, but I'm just curious to see if there's more to it, or if it really is this random inclusion they had. And why does food change your appearance? Like, I guess they're like, power-ups, maybe? Like, what's going on there?
I think I'm more curious to know what happens when you've already got all the costumes, say for Mario, for example, and then go through it. I think I read somewhere that it just gives you a mushroom, but then it almost becomes like, why am I going to go out my way that way if I have to go all the way around? So hopefully it leans back into more your mission mode kind of prediction at the start too, that you have to, different unlocks are triggered by different things. Maybe one is collect a food item bag, or another one is do a mission or win an online race. I think that will be really key for like to make it really engaging.
Yeah, I think so. It'll be interesting to see if they touch on that more. All right, I think I may have just one final prediction, and this kind of ties back maybe to the open world single player idea. And it's a bold one. I think you'll be able to hop out of your car. You'll be able to hop out of your cart, you'll be able to roam around on foot, at least to some limited degree. Maybe you can only go within a certain radius of your car, or maybe you can call your car, you know, if you get too far off the mark, like how you could call Epona in Breath of the Wild if you had that option, or the item, I think, or however that worked. And yeah, I feel like I've seen like there's instances on the track where you can see like question blocks, and maybe it's just a background detail, but there's like different blocks that you clearly shouldn't be able to hit in your cart, at least easily. It's like, well, that'll make a lot of sense if you could hop out on foot and just explore. And I think that'll be like, and that would effectively make this like the 3D Mario, right? This is, I mean, obviously it wouldn't replace the true 3D Mario, but like it would further bridge that gap of why we may have to wait a little while longer for a 3D Mario when we can run around this a brilliant world, you know, on foot, just hop around and whatever. And
man, I just want to jump on a P-switch. I just want to jump on a P-switch now you said that.
We have seen P-switches in the game too. And to add to it, you know, they have rendered these characters fully independent of the carts. You know, like on the character select screen, they are just standing there. Which I don't think, have they done that since Double Dash?
I don't think so, but Double Dash was so cool, especially with the punching and the running. It was so much fun.
Exactly, and they did in Double Dash because they had to make that, you know, those animations of character models standing up because they would stand up on the back of the cart. So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe there is a reason for it here too, because we haven't seen them stand in any other instance, I believe.
No.
Yeah, because even at the end of the race, they're still in the cart doing their little animation. So.
Yeah, I need to see the dry fish bones actually now run out of his car and then jump on a P-switch. That's like on my to-do list in life.
Does he like to see it? Does he just swim through the air? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, like, maybe ground pound? I don't know.
Have we seen how the Goomba works, by the way? Does he just use his mind powers to turn the wheel, or...?
Goomba is a very special character. They can do whatever they like. They can ride a tricycle, and I'm giving them a tick like always.
I hope we see Goomba. What I actually wanted to see him do is like just latch onto the wheel with his teeth, and he seems to just like swing around with the wheel, like including like 360s. It'd be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be cool, especially when getting struck by lightning.
Absolutely. All right, Swiftjar, any final thoughts about anything related to Mario Kart World before we wrap it up here? Whether it's prediction or expectation?
We definitely covered it all, but I think my final expectations going to this is they already blew my expectations out of the water originally, and I have a feeling they're going to do it again. Even if they don't blow it out of the water, I'm going to still be extremely happy, and I can't wait to play this game with every single person that watches, you know, this channel, every other channel, so it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, I feel like they're high on some big things still, and I hope that they deliver. Even if they don't, I'll be happy with the game. But I'm hoping that there is more there, especially with them, again, having a whole dedicated direct shortly after showing off a bunch of this game already. It's playable, you know, and that's crazy. So I can't wait. I think everyone at this point almost can't wait beyond maybe, again, the $80 price point. But, Swiftjar, if people want to find out more from you, because I know you do all kinds of awesome Mario Kart coverage and more on your channel, where can they follow you at?
They can follow me anywhere at Swiftjar. I've tried to make it nice and simple for people, and yeah, it'd be really appreciative if you do come over. And of course, thanks for having me on too. From watching you as a young little sacker to now being on here is pretty special. So thank you very much.
No, it's awesome to have you on here and to discuss this with you. I was thinking of like, who do I want to discuss Mario Kart with? Oh, Swiftjar, of course, it'd be perfect. And yeah, it's been a ton of fun. So if you want to check out Swiftjar's content, you can check the links in the description below. Again, Swiftjar everywhere, but we'll link to it in the description. On that note, everyone, thank thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for our upcoming live reaction to the Mario Kart World Direct. Should be a lot of fun, and plus, whatever videos we get out of it afterward too. Analysis, who knows what. We all know what they're going to show here for sure, but here's hoping for that story campaign. Anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll catch you later. Bye.